continue with the chapter. In the previous video, we have discussed about the pituitary hormones. The first hormone of the pituitary gland is growth hormone. Now today we are going to discuss about the other next hormone, that is adrenocorticotropic hormone. It is called as ACTH in short. And as the name is there, adreno, that means it acts on the adrenal gland. Okay, and cortico word is for the cortex region. So this hormone, it acts on the cortex region of adrenal gland and it helps in secretion of steroids called as glucocorticoids. Now just have a look over here. Adrenocorticotropic hormone. This hormone is secreted when adrenocorticotrophin releasing hormones or ACRH stimulate corticotroph cells of anterior lobe of pituitary. This stimulate the secretion and synthesis of steroid hormones called as glucocorticoids from adrenal cortex. That means these are hormones, these are released from the adrenocorticotrophin releasing hormones. These are also called as adrenocorticotrophin releasing hormones, ACRH, and they stimulate corticotroph cells of anterior lobe of pituitary. Then this stimulate the secretion and synthesis of steroid hormones called as glucocorticoids, which are released from the adrenal cortex. Now glucocorticoids, these are secreted during physical and emotional stress. During the physical and emotional stress only, glucocorticoids are secreted from the cortex region of adrenal gland. So this is about the ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. The next hormone is thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormone is also represented as TSH. That means this hormone, it acts on the thyroid gland to secrete thyroid hormones. Okay, so this stimulates the synthesis and secretion of thyroid hormones from thyroid glands. That means thyroid gland is acted upon by TSH. Then only thyroid gland will release the thyroid hormones. Now we continue with the other hormones of pituitary gland. Now here look at the other hormones which are secreted by the pituitary gland. The first one over here, now we are discussing about the fourth hormone, that is follicle stimulating hormone, or we call it as FSH. Follicle stimulating hormone means the name itself says that this is the hormone, it is released by the reproductive organs. So here you can see that in males, follicle stimulating hormone or FSH and androgens, they together regulate spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is the synthesis of sperms in the testes. So that means here it is related with the reproductive organs. In females, FSH stimulates the growth and development of ovarian follicle. That means it results in the maturation of ovum so that the ovum can be released. So that means follicle stimulating hormone in males, FSH and androgen hormones. Androgen hormones are the hormones which are responsible for the secondary sexual characters in males. So FSH and androgens, they together regulate the spermatogenesis or the production of sperms, and in females FSH stimulates the growth and development of the ovum so that the mature ovum can be released from the ovary. Now next one is the luteinizing hormone or LH. This is also the hormone which acts on the reproductive organs. In males, it stimulates the synthesis and secretion of androgen hormones related to the secondary sexual characteristics in males. And in females, it induces ovulation so that the ovum can be released and control the secretion of progesterone hormone. That is, it is responsible for the development of secondary sexual characters in females. That means if we talk about males and females collectively, then this luteinizing hormone, it is responsible for the maintenance or the development of the secondary sexual characters in both males and females. Now we proceed further with the other hormones of pituitary gland. Now students, here we come with the sixth hormone of the pituitary gland, that is the prolactin hormone, also called as PRL, or we call it as mother's hormone MH. So though from here only, from this name mother's hormone, you can clearly identify that this is secreted only in the mother's body. Okay, prolactin hormone, this is responsible for the secretion of milk from the mammary glands after the delivery of a baby. Okay, so this one is, it is found only in females. It regulates the growth of mammary glands and formation of milk in them. This hormone, it provides maternal feeling because of the secretion of the milk. It provides the maternal feeling in the mother, the one who is feeding milk to her baby. Next hormone is called as the gonadotrophin hormone. Gonadotrophin hormone, the word over here comes gonado. Gonado word resembles, or we say it refers to the gonads, or we say the reproductive organs. So this hormone is related with the reproductive organs. It stimulates gonadotroph cells of anterior lobe of pituitary to secrete LH, that is the luteinizing hormone, and FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Both of these hormones, they stimulate gonadal activity, that means they act on the reproductive organs. Hence, they call as the gonadotrophin hormones. Okay. So, next one is, we have completed with the pars distalis hormones. Now, we are going to discuss about the pars intermedia. Okay. So, now this is also the intermediate lobe of the pituitary. The hormone which is secreted by pars intermedia is melanocyte stimulating hormone. We call it as MSH. This hormone, here the word melanocytes comes from melanin, and melanin is the pigment which is responsible for providing the skin color. Okay, it is a pigment which is responsible for providing skin color to the humans, and these cells are, they are secreting or responsible for the stimulation of secretion of the melanin pigment. Now just look over here, it acts on the melanocyte or melanin containing cells and regulates skin pigmentation. It regulates the color of the skin. Next one is melanocyte inhibiting hormone. This inhibiting hormone, melanocyte inhibiting hormone, we say this one MIH, this inhibits the secretion of melanocyte stimulating hormone. That means this inhibiting hormone, it acts on the melanocyte stimulating hormone so that the pigmentation which is done, that is stopped or checked. So here we have done with the hormones of pars distalis and pars intermedia. Now we will discuss about the neurohypophysis. We have completed with the hormones of adenohypophysis. Now we will discuss about the hormones of neurohypophysis. Now here we discuss about the hormones secreted by neurohypophysis. Neurohypophysis is the collection of the axonal projections because the nervous tissue, okay, that is present, and this nervous tissue consists of what? The dendrites, dendron, then cell body, then axon. Okay, so here this neurohypophysis, it consists of the projections of the axon from hypothalamus, which terminates behind the pituitary gland, that means the nerve endings behind the pituitary gland, and it is pars nervosa of neurohypophysis. This is called as pars nervosa, that forms the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland. Now these two hormones are secreted by this region, neurohypophysis. These hormones are, number one, oxytocin hormone, or it is called as pitocin, and the second hormone is vasopressin, also called as antidiuretic hormone ADH or pitressin. This hormone ADH we have already done in excretory products and their elimination, where we have discussed about the secretion or the reabsorption of the water by the renal tubules. Now we discuss about this oxytocin. What is oxytocin? Oxytocin hormone is released when the fetus inside the mother's womb has completed its gestation period. That means the fetus is fully developed in the womb of its mother. Okay, that means the complete development of the fetus has taken place, and now the fetus is to be ejected out, or we say that is to be delivered from the mother's womb. During that time, oxytocin hormone is secreted, which acts on the middle layer of the uterus, which is called as the myometrium. There are three layers of uterus. Outer one is perimetrium, middle one myometrium, and the inner one is the endometrium. Whatever the menstrual cycle occurs, the changes occurs in the uterus that occurs in the endometrium or the innermost layer. But during the we say the delivery of a baby, or during the birth time of the baby, then myometrium is acted upon by the oxytocin hormone, which results in the contraction of the middle uterus layer, and this causes the labor pains, resulting in the delivery of a baby. So now just have a look over here. Oxytocin or pitocin, it acts on the smooth muscles of the body and stimulate contraction of myometrium, that is the middle layer of the uterus, at the time of childbirth. It also plays role in the injection of milk, because when the childbirth has taken place, during that time the child requires milk to feed. Okay, so for feeding also, this mammary glands, it acts on the mammary glands also, so that the milk can be ejected. Okay, so here is, it also plays role in ejection of the milk from the mammary glands in females. Now the second hormone we are talking about is vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone, ADH, or it is also called as pitressin. This hormone, it acts mainly at the kidneys, stimulating the reabsorption of water. This we have already studied. Reabsorption of water is done by the renal tubule. We know that near about 180 liter of filtrate is formed after the filtration of the blood in a day. Okay, so out of this 180 liter, in normal person, near about 1.5 to 2 liters of urine is excreted out, and the remaining filtrate is reabsorbed. So now what happens is, reabsorption process is done by the action of ADH hormone, antidiuretic hormone, which results in preventing the loss of water from the body. But what happens when there is a deficiency of this hormone, that means this hormone is not released properly, then reabsorption won't occur, and the urine is we say the amount of urine which is excreted out increases from 15 to 20 liters in a day, and that is a huge amount. So the person suffer from the disease named is diabetes insipidus. So this is the disorder of vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone disorder. It is called, name is diabetes insipidus. It is a deficiency of ADH hormone. It causes increased output of urine, means the amount of urine excreted out from the body increases. It comes out to be near about 15 to 20 liters per day. So such a large amount of water, or we say urine, is excreted out from the human body. So these patients, they require continuous intake of liquid, or we say the water. So now the remaining we'll discuss now. Remaining hormones. Now students, we have completed with the hormones of the pituitary gland. Now just have a brief look over the hormones which are secreted by the pituitary glands. So just have a look over here. This diagram I had made, this is in the center, this shows the pituitary gland, and over here it is connected with the hypothalamus. Now this is the stalk-like structure of the pituitary, which is called as the infundibulum, and this is the adrenal, anterior part of the pituitary we will call as adenohypophysis, and here is the posterior part called as neurohypophysis. Now we discuss about the hormones secreted by the adenohypophysis. First is the growth hormone, that is responsible for general body growth. Second is thyroid stimulating hormone, responsible for stimulation of thyroid glands so that thyroid hormone can be secreted. Then ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, it acts on the adrenal cortex, that it stimulates the adrenal cortex region of the adrenal gland. The next is FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. It is a gonad stimulation, and it is responsible for the development of follicles so that the gametes can be formed. Then LH, that is luteinizing hormone, it is also called as ICSH, that is interstitial cell stimulating hormone, and this is also present in the reproductive organ. That's why we say gonad stimulation, interstitial cell development. And the next one is the prolactin hormone. Prolactin hormone is responsible, or we call it as mother's hormone, responsible for secretion of milk from the mammary gland. So it is breast development and milk formation. Then now we discuss about the hormones of the neurohypophysis. MSH, melanocyte stimulating hormone, it is responsible for pigmentation of the skin. Then oxytocin hormone, labor pains initiation and milk ejection. And this last one is ADH, that is ADH is antidiuretic hormone, and it is responsible for water reabsorption from the DCT, that is distal convoluted tubule. So these are the hormones which we have discussed of the pituitary gland. Now we come to the next gland, that is the pineal gland. Now we are discussing about the pineal gland. Pineal gland is also called as epiphysis. It is found in the brain. It is a very small structure, grayish in color, and it is solid, conical in shape. Okay, so this is what pineal gland. Pineal gland, epiphysis, small gland present in the brain, reddish gray in color, solid and conical in shape. It secretes the hormone named is melatonin hormone. This melatonin hormone, it plays a very important role in regulating 24 hours rhythm of a body. That means how our body work in 24 hours. That means in the night we used to sleep, in the morning we just get up and we start doing our work, and again in the night we means our body wants relax and want to sleep. So this sleep and awake cycle, okay, so this cycle is controlled by this melatonin hormone, which plays an important role in regulating 24 hours rhythm of the body and also helps in maintaining sleep-awake cycle of the body. Along with this, body temperature, metabolism, menstrual cycle, as well as defense capability of our body is also regulated by this melatonin hormone. If the person is not sleeping properly, he may get infected to many diseases. Okay, so that means the body of that person becomes prone to infection, which results in the decline in the defense mechanism of the body. So sleep of the body means the sleep is required so that the defense mechanism of the body increases. So that's why it is said that it affects the defense capability of our body. Now here melatonin hormone, it promotes sleep because it is promoting the sleep so that the 24-hour cycle can be maintained. So this hormone is also called as the sleep hormone. Melatonin hormone secreted by pineal gland. Pineal gland is located in the brain. It is reddish gray in color and it is conical solid structure. It plays an important role in maintaining the circadian rhythm or diurnal, that means sleep-awake cycle, and it promotes sleep as well as it regulates the body temperature, menstrual cycle, defense mechanism, metabolism of the body. Now we next discuss about the next hormone, next gland of our body, that is thyroid gland. Now here students, we discuss about the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is the largest endocrine gland and it surrounds the larynx. From front, it covers the larynx part and it is bilobed. That means two lobes are there. Here you can see the diagram, two lobes are there, and over here in the center, that is the trachea, and it is present in the larynx region. These two lobes, they are connected by the connective tissue and it is called as the isthmus. Now see here, it surrounds the front of larynx and is bilobe, that is two lobes, each on either side of the trachea. in the neck interconnected with each other through isthmus. That is, these two are interconnected with each other through this connective tissue, isthmus. Isthmus is what? It is a thin flap of connective tissue. It secretes two hormones. First one is thyroxine, second one is calcitonin. Okay, now first of all we'll discuss about the thyroxine. Thyroxine hormone is there, which is secreted by the thyroid gland. It consists of four forms. Thyroxine hormone, there are four forms of thyroxine hormone secreted by this thyroid gland. These are T1, T2, T3 and T4. Okay, so out of these four, T1 and T2, these are the intermittent phases, intermittent thyroxine, and these two, they get soon disappear in the blood. They dissolve in the blood as soon as they are formed. Okay, then T3 is the functional form of thyroxine, but this is unstable. So what will happen when this T3 is there? It is the functional, and later on it gets converted to T4, and T4 is the stable form of thyroxine. But to show its action, okay, it's this T4, it gets converted into T3, then the function is done, and later on, because T3 is unstable, so it gets converted to T4, and T4 is the stable form. Now what are the functions of thyroxine hormone? First is it regulates the metabolism. As a result, when the metabolic activities are controlled and is proper, then result in a proper body growth. Then formation and development of the reproductive organs. Then control of regeneration. That means if any body part is got wounded, okay, that means injury is there, then healing of the wound is done. That is, regeneration is controlled, and it controls the menstrual cycle. So you might have seen that any person who is suffering from thyroid, okay, that means thyroxine hormone is not secreted from the thyroid gland, then these problems are faced by that person. Now we discuss about the disorders of thyroxine gland and effects and the working of calcitonin hormone. Now here these are the disorders of thyroid gland. First is hypothyroidism. Hypo word here means that the deficiency of thyroid hormones. Okay, so here due to deficiency of thyroid hormones, for the secretion of thyroid hormone, thyroid gland require iodine in a very small quantity. So when iodine is not taken, or when there is deficiency of iodine, then thyroid hormones are not secreted, and we say there is deficiency of thyroid hormones. So you can see over here, hypothyroidism, it occurs due to the deficiency of iodine in diet, and it leads to the enlargement of thyroid gland, because thyroid gland, cells of the thyroid gland, they had to work more to produce thyroid hormones in the deficiency of iodine. So as a result, swelling occurs and the thyroid gland becomes swollen. This is called as the goiter. Then hypothyroidism in women during pregnancy, it affects the development and maturation of the growing baby, or we call it as a fetus, which leads to cretinism. Cretinism is the disorder which results in the stunted growth, mental retardation, low IQ, abnormal skin, and affects the development of the reproductive organs of that fetus. Here we use the word for growing baby. We can write down the word fetus because it is in the mother's womb. During the developmental stages, if the mother has the deficiency of iodine, then the baby, or we say the fetus, will suffer from these disorders, thus stunted growth, mental retardation, low IQ, abnormal skin, and retardation of the reproductive organs. This stage is called as the cretinism. The next one is hypothyroidism in adult women. It causes irregular menstrual cycle. The next is hyperthyroidism, when the secretion of thyroid gland is more, and this occurs only when the activity of thyroid gland is beyond the control, and this occurs only under the cancerous stage, when the person is suffering from the cancer of thyroid gland. So you can see over here that in hyperthyroidism, increased secretion of thyroid hormones, it may occur due to cancer of thyroid gland. Now we discuss other disorders of the thyroid gland. Now students, in continuation with the disorders of thyroid gland, the next disease is Hashimoto disease. It is an autoimmune disorder in which the immunity of the person body, it destroys the thyroid gland. It affects the thyroid gland so that thyroid gland does not work properly. Okay, so it is what? It is an autoimmune disorder in which thyroid gland is destroyed due to the autoimmunity of the body, and all the functions of the thyroid gland gets impaired or affected. The next one is myxedema, or it is called as the Gall's disease. In this disease, the deficiency of thyroid hormone in adults. It is more common in women and is characterized by the puffy appearance. That means results in obesity because the deposition of fat occurs and the metabolic activities are affected. The next is calcitonin hormone. We have discussed about the thyroxine hormone. Now we are going to discuss about the calcitonin hormone, the second hormone secreted by thyroid gland. Calcitonin hormone is concerned with the calcium metabolism and it causes hypocalcemia, that is reduces the calcium level in the blood. It is meant for the reduction of calcium level in blood, that means absorption of calcium increases from the blood by this hormone. Accordingly, it increases the calcium deposition on bones. That means when it absorbs, it removes the calcium from the blood, it leads to the deposition of that calcium on the bones and makes the bone strong. So accordingly, it increases the calcium deposition on bones and reduces the calcium absorption in intestine. So here we have completed with the hormones of, that is thyroxine and calcitonin hormones secreted by the thyroid gland.